Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know it's not working. So thank you all for being here. So let's get open for business and let's wake up the football gods. And don't forget to keep Brother Stu in your thoughts and prayers. To either today or tomorrow, he's going to have heart surgery, his fist surgery that he's had in the last 2 weeks, all the stuff that's going on, and he could definitely use your thoughts and prayers. For us, for our Dallas Cowboys, and there goes the music, it is Thirsty Thursday, the second practice of the week, and as we look at the injury report from what the Dallas Cowboys have right now, from yesterday's practice, Dorrance Armstrong was at practice but limited. Diggs practice but limited. Randy Gregory, who said that his whole right side has just kind of been aching and hurting and stuff, was actually a full participant, so that's great on a Wednesday. We had Dak Prescott, who was limited yesterday. Cooper Rush got the first-team reps. Tyron Smith limited with the ankle injury. Cedric Wilson was a full participant with his shoulder, and Donovan Wilson, full participant. We might finally see Donovan Wilson really out there being able to do stuff. And, you know, it's crazy because we looked at Donovan Wilson as our best safety, and some people looked and said our only safety. The fact that we haven't really even had him on the field and we've still been successful on the defense goes to show you how Dan Quinn has literally put this team together. Before I get on to Dak Prescott and all that, the thing about Dan Quinn and Randy Gregory was talking about how he is so full of energy. He's not one of those in-your-face, you screwed up, guys, but he's a teacher. He's a motivator, and he's a guy that's a no-nonsense kind of guy. And he's looking for those kinds of players. Make no mistake about it. The Cowboys changed the whole defense in 1 year more than anything else by the culture. What you see now are a bunch of guys that are truly hungry and want to perform for Dan Quinn. There were a couple of things that just stood out like a sore thumb. When Xavier Woods said, and maybe it's true to an extent, but nobody says it, that nobody gives 100% on every play. Well, when you're the worst defense in football and you're saying you're not giving 100% on any play, you got to go. That's the wrong damn attitude. And Jalen Smith, as much as we all love Jalen Smith, when you say that the defense is too complex, so you need to be raising your hand and saying, I need extra help. I'm getting paid $9 million to understand this defense. If I got to get me a tutor or somebody else to help, I got to do that. I got to take it upon myself to understand every aspect of it. And we don't have any more of that. You don't hear a single person out there complaining about anything. What you have is a group of guys that are all hungry to get their opportunity to get out on the field. And this is where the Cowboys have done, it's going to be difficult next offseason, but because guys are fighting for their Dallas Cowboy and NFL career, that they haven't been anointed with this, 4 or 5 year contract where they say, if you want to get rid of me, fine, I'll take the money out the door. You've got guys that are trying to literally fix their situation. Malik Hooker coming off injury, 1 year deal. I got to show something for the Cowboys to keep me or the next guy to get my contract. So I've got to be all in. I can't complain and say it's too complex. I got to learn it, and I got to perform. And this is what you have across the board, and this is where the Cowboys have to look at it and say we did a good thing. Last night when we were doing our pick segment with Brother Roz, we touched on a bit of, and I think I've said it myself, if I look at when my YouTube channel first started growing and I was doing well and said, hey, I'm doing well, I don't need to change anything. I could have stayed over there with the one locker and stuff. When you're not getting better and evolving and changing, you're getting worse. And you can look at the Cowboys from 2016, where they were able to run the hell out of Zeke Elliott, and everything seemed to be perfect. And in 2017, they didn't change anything. They went through, we're just a running team with Zeke Elliott, and you could honestly understand every single play that they did. And that year was disaster, partially because Tyron Smith started getting injured, but because teams had figured them out, they hadn't evolved and changed, it was difficult for them to win. This is the problem right now with Kansas City. People are finally beginning to figure out Pat Mahomes and understand that he's deadly on the blitz. Don't blitz him as much. Make him have to go against all those extra defensive defenders back there. He'll make more mistakes. They didn't evolve. They didn't change. And this is where Bill Belichick, whether he won a Super Bowl or not, he was constantly turning over the roster. 30% of the people were gone after a Super Bowl. And with that, with those compensatory picks, a la like we had this year, you look at this roster was filled out because of those extra picks that we made. He lets them go, gets the compensatory picks, and gets guys that are hungry to succeed. That way you're constantly turning over the roster where nobody gets too comfortable to say, hey, I'm the guy. I don't have to work that hard because I got the big bucks. Well, this is where changing things and keeping people on their toes has benefited them. Now, on, of course, to Dak Prescott, who was limited yesterday in practice. And this is where, now you're sitting here thinking about, well, you look at the Cowboys and versus everybody else in their division and how bad they are. Do you start playing a long game strategy and say, we're going to start rotating some of the veteran players in some of the games and play some of the younger guys to get them experience as you go through? And this may happen. Now, I dare say that tonight's game may end up determining a lot of those things. You've got the Cardinals versus the Packers. You've got undefeated versus, one loss. If the Cardinals destroy Green Bay, they get the leg up on them. They have to play the Rams still on their schedule. But you could actually look at it and say maybe Tampa Bay with the rest of their schedule ends up just kind of running away and getting home field advantage because there's only one team that has the bye week. Only one. If Green Bay wins, that kind of knocks Carolina back down, and knowing that Carolina knocks the Cardinals down, knowing that they still have to play the Rams, then you start looking and saying, okay, we still have a better shot here. We do have another game against them as well. And so then you start saying we may have a chance for home field advantage. Tampa Bay, is really, really good, but you're not really sure. There's going to be down times in the season. And also, too, this will go a long ways towards the MVP race. If Kyler Murray comes out there, has a great game against Aaron Rodgers, gets the big win, then you got to say he's getting another little notch up there as far as the MVP. Then again, Aaron Rodgers gets back in there. Then you look at the old gun, of course. So all of this game tonight, and we will be live streaming it, has a lot of ramifications for a multitude of reasons for us. For me, I believe Dak Prescott will be out there on Sunday because he is literally a warrior. If he was a wide receiver or a running back where he's going to have to run the football or make a lot of cuts, I would say they would probably be more cautious on getting him back out on the field. But I feel like Dak Prescott is truly on a mission this year. It's not that I just got paid, I can kick back and relax. I believe that him and the Dallas Cowboys are on a mission to get that Super Bowl that has been eluding us for way too long. Did I say Super Bowl? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Did I say that? I did. So I want to end this morning before I go out here and get to work in the workshop. I got stuff I got to get off the truck from working over the weekend. It's still it's strange because I haven't been sitting here since Monday. And I'm kind of out of kilters right now because it seems like it's been that long. I don't like to be away from here for long. But I want to go to first things first. Hopefully the NFL police won't get me. With Nick Mangini talking about the Cowboys' plan with Dak Prescott for Sunday's game.
Talk some Cowboys now. Quietly putting together a great season at 5-1, but Dak Prescott still working his way back from that calf strain he's dealing with. He's been limited in practice all week. Head coach Mike McCarthy asked about his quarterback status for Sunday's game against the Vikings, and he said this.
Back on Dak here for a second. Is it fair to say that you're preparing as if he will play, or you're going in thinking he might not play? How do you view your mindset with him right now on a Wednesday?
I think I've already answered that. I mean, he's going to practice. He's going to go through the individual part of it. He's in the game plans. I mean, he's preparing to play. But, you know, he's got to cross the threshold to make sure he's full go.
We got former NFL coach, 3-time Super Bowl winner, and man with plan, Eric Mangini, joining us. Coach, top of the morning to you. Thank you so much for being here. Let us stick with this game. What's the plan for the Cowboys to avoid the upset in Minnesota this weekend?
Well, you know, I always like to start my game plan with something that Nick can get behind and Nick is excited about. So I'll start it here where they need to have both guys had great instincts and could make quarterbacks pay when they were thrown on. But what they both did a really good job of is being unpredictable. With Ty, you didn't know what he was going to do, and sometimes defensively we didn't know what Ty was going to do, and that made him unpredictable. The thing that you want to do with players like that are going to take chances is you want to play off of that need to make a play, just like New England did. And what that means is a lot of double moves. So when you're going to go after him, you're going to run a pattern. You're going to run a pattern so that he sees it, and now he's thinking, okay, the next time that comes, I'm going to go ahead, break up on that, and get my pick. That's when you throw in the double moves, the out and ups, the little hitch and goes, the comeback.
Easier said than done.
Things where it sells to him that he's got an opportunity to make a play, and then you throw the double move on him. That's the best way to go after guys like that.
Okay.
Coach, I think this is a serious candidate for an upset alert because
Oh,
I
here
think
we go.
Minnesota is better than a lot of people think and better than their record. We know they've won 3 of their last 4, and their losses, close loss to Cincinnati, close loss to Arizona that they obviously could have won, and then a close loss to Cleveland. You mentioned their defense and the pressure they can put on the passer. Offensively, we know that Cousins is having a great year. They've got the great receiving core, and they got a good running game, too. How good do you think Minnesota really is?
I
Good
agree
question.
with you, Chris. They're underrated. And when you look at those games, the Cincinnati game was a loss in overtime, and it was a fumble late, which set up the loss. And we didn't know how good Cincinnati was at that point. When you look at the Arizona game, what was that? It was a 37-yard missed field goal to win the game for Minnesota, and
Yep.
The kicker had hit a 52-yarder earlier in the game. That really should have been a win as well.
But you
Cleveland
are
game
what your record
was
says you
tighter
are.
but still close. What was that? 14-7. That loss.
Yeah.
So they've lost to really good teams, and a couple of those games, you could argue they should have easily won or should have convincingly won. And now they're in a situation where they are underestimated and they are an afterthought. But you look at them cumulatively and holistically, and there's a lot of good things that they do on a week-to-week basis. If they can just put it together and get a little momentum, they could go on a significant streak.
Okay. So,
Well, they'll have a nice
upset alert? I don't know. If the Cowboys play, and here's the thing that's always amazing to me, is everybody gets beat on plays. There's no defense out there that doesn't lose some games and gives up plays from time to time. That's why we play the game. Nobody is perfect every single time. And you're going to have times where there's brain farts, and the guys on the other side of the field, they get paid to make the plays as well. So I'm not ready to go ahead and say, hey, there's a major problem out there. That's something that you can use as a teachable moment and show what not to do and get better from it. But we'll see what happens on Sunday against Minnesota. The biggest thing I worry about for the Cowboys, because they are 5-1 and doing so well and seeming to be really, really good, is you get complacency of the players actually believing the hype and thinking all we have to do is show up. I'm hoping that Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn and Kellen Moore do not let that set in, that they keep a sense of urgency on each and every single game, every single week, every single practice and rep of how important and how special it could be if they give it their all. With that being said, I got work to do, y'all, and I'm going to go ahead and get going on it. It's so nice to be back here on the set. See you guys tonight for the Cardinals versus Green Bay.
And the only thing else I got to